Alongside me, Toto, there's a big moment in the life, the career of Valtteri Bottas.
Yeah, the first ever pole position, I guess, for any driver in Formula One is a huge moment.
Just tell me how hard he works at it, because, I mean, it's clear that he's a very, very fast learner.
Yes, and he has kept his calm. That is important because he has the best teammate you can probably have in Formula One, and he was the benchmark and with the team for many years. And it's a perfect situation now for us, for the team, because they will be pushing each other with all the respect they have also for each other as racing drivers. So it's good.
There's been a couple of tenths between them, let's say, in the first two qualifying sessions, if you like, in the first two races, and then to close it down like this and then out qualify Lewis. I mean, I was just saying before the break, it's one thing, I suppose, to believe and hope you can do it, but to actually achieve that, do you now think that's going to give the confidence to spur him on, and you actually think it's going to be a lot tighter between these two?
I think generally he's not somebody that is easily shaken. Also when he has bad days, and that one of these days happened in Shanghai, he recovered pretty quickly. He said to me, Monday was not good, Monday afternoon was better, and Monday morning. So I think he continues to improve all the time, and that's an important skill. And equally, Lewis has that skill as well, and so it's really good for us.
Yeah, he was angry with himself after that spin behind the virtual safety car. Did he apologise to you guys? It's just one of those things that happens. Very uncharacteristic, wasn't it?
No, he was very down after that happened, and yes, he apologized many times because it lost the team points. But as a matter of fact, he has paid it back today.
What happened to Lewis in the second sector on that when he was trying to chase him down? Any idea?
Somehow it didn't look as though both of them could improve the times, and then suddenly the Valtteri was equal on his previous lap, and then in the last sector he just improved for the tiny margin that out-qualified Lewis.
But 4.5 tenths over Ferrari, that's got to be the most pleasing thing. We're expecting it to be that it's a big margin.
It's a big margin, but interestingly, the Ferrari drivers suffered a little bit of understeer. It's at least what they said, which can be an indication that they are protecting the rears for tomorrow. And again, tomorrow the points are going to be collected.
Well, I was going to say, do you expect them to be nipping at your ankles, because their race pace has been good all year?
Yes, it was very good, and there wasn't 5 tenths between us in the yesterday evening session. So we have a really clever bunch of guys that are going to stick their heads together and think what it means for tomorrow. Also come up with the best strategy. So I think the race is going to be more exciting than these 5 tenths make it look like.
Okay, well, what we want to see, and we've seen it here before in Bahrain, I mean, in particular in 2014, is some wheel-to-wheel racing. Thanks very much for your time, Toto. Go well tomorrow. Let's go to the sky pad and have another look at the pole lap.
Yeah, I don't think Bottas's car set up to save the rear tyres. Looking very well balanced, I must say. Very sharp in the front, able to pick up just a little bit of lap time compared to Hamilton. So we've got the side-by-side. Obviously, Bottas on the left. He ultimately ended the lap better than Hamilton. But I just want to watch into turn one. Just watch Bottas's car a bit sharper. He's going to get a little bit oversteer on the exit. Points him in the right direction through 2. Both cars very nicely through 3 as well. Acceleration up to 4. Both making a brake balance adjustment as they get into it. You can see the dash is changing, but very wide. A lot of cars struggled here, but both guys very safe on the exit, not using too much curb. The Mercedes looking very well balanced. Bottas a little bit more aggressive on the curbs compared to Hamilton. Maybe the camera angle giving us that impression, exaggerating it slightly. But here, just look at the way Bottas, the direction he's pointing. Hamilton still winding on the lot, Bottas pointing out. So he's got a nice cleaner on the traction. You can hear both guys, no wheel spin, the grip working very well. Tricky turn 10, Bottas slightly deeper, but again he's just pointing a little bit in the right direction. That tells me he's got a bit more front end. Maybe Lewis set up a bit more for the race when it's a bit more of the long game. Down into 11, deep on the brakes. Bottas just on the exit, just seems to be a little bit wider than me, so he's using a bit more road. Able to get the car back though in plenty of time as he gets up through turn 12. Turn 13 comes across you very quickly on this track. The car very nicely balanced. Hamilton looking like he's got a little bit of understeer. So you're now down into the final sector. Bottas knows at this point, so he's not up in the lap, but if he nails the last corner, he manages to get it. Just as we get into the middle, I want to show you. Again, he's on the apex curb. I'm surprised he's so aggressive at that point. But it's this point here I want to show you. The first part of the exit, Bottas uses a little bit more curb compared to Hamilton. As you play it on, you'll see Hamilton staying away from it. And then he finds the second part. So he's run as much speed as he can. Obviously the DRS is going to come up before we get to the timing line. On you go, and these qualifying sessions are getting increasingly close. Bottas needs to transfer this obviously into a race win. Hamilton's certainly not going to let him get it easy, but I guess it's a front row. What Ferrari can do off the line, can we see Vettel do something different? Like Toto said, in terms of how their tyres are, Ted caught up with Nicky after qualifying to see what he had to say.
Well, Nicky, well done. Valtteri's chin was on the floor after China, after that mistake. What a way to come back.
This is, I tell you, for a driver, very important. I talked to him about after China, analyze it and forget it.
Yeah, what did you talk to him about? What did you say?
I said, look deep, what is the problem? He said, it was my fault. Fine. This is the only way to correct these things. I don't need to tell you anymore. So just put this thing on and off you go again and start again. Therefore, for his confidence and brain and head, which drivers sometimes need, it's very important here that he's on pole position now.
Yeah, important for him as well. And are you a little surprised? Did you expect a bit more from the Scuderia down there?
Yes, I was worried about the Scuderia a lot. Lewis did a very good job. I can't complain. And both Mercedes in the front row, I prefer.
I'm sure you do. Thank you for talking to us.
I was just asking Damon about his first pole. I can't remember where it was. Can you remember?
I
You
told
must
you not
remember
to ask me that question.